has something inscribed on it. I can't see what it is, but it would definitely be recorded on the internet. But it's marked on the OS map as a boundary stone, BS. And so it has been, the actual boundary itself comes along here, sort of 20 yards short.
In the 1880s, the boundary was inset, that missing 20 yards, as you can see here.
So it might have been moved in there, or the boundary was in there in the first place. Now, that boundary marker, boundary stone, is also in the middle of the valley, like that. While stones further on are in the middle of the valley as well. The Roman road, you see the entrance into that wood over there, just to the, according to the archaeologists, it's to the left of that and goes straight up the hill. What it doesn't mark on the OS map is the causeway, and there's a causeway leading up to the woods, but the road on it turns to the left around the woods. Now, I'm not saying that causeway is Roman, but I bet its ancestor is, which is again not mentioned on the HER and not mentioned on the Ordnance Survey map either. So it's one of the advantages of going out in the field and having a look. Now, marked on the OS map, there should be a pond. And this is on the alignment of the Saxon Charter. And it describes going to a place called Meos Mer. That's a wild strawberry. I quite fancy taking that, but it's illegal. Take plant matter, you can take seeds, but you can't take the plants, the roots and everything themselves. There's a lot of bluebells around here. Suggests some age to this wood. Now it's clearly dried up over the years. I can see that there is a ditch-like element down here. Now this was almost definitely one of the headwaters of the River Dickler today. Now that's obviously an old name, but I don't think it's the oldest name of all. There's another name for it, but anyway, which I completely forgotten. But it's definitely dried up now, but I can see elements of wetter ditchy land around here and some pipes. So it looks like some pipes have been left over there. So it looks like some sort of drainage has gone on, or it's been extracted, the water's been extracted. But it goes from Meos Mere, which means moss, pond, mere, to Æwelm Ford, the Yellow Ford. Now the English Place Name Society says that location has not been discovered, but Grundy 100 years ago says it's here, and I think he's right. This is the bottom of a valley, and I can see a ditch that heads off along the course of what should be a river through the valley, from another valley over here. This is the ford. It's just been built up in the manner of modern roads above wetness. So the water's hit an obstacle or drainage and just spread out, and because it's much drier now than it used to be, it may well be extremely wet ground during the winter, but it's dried up now. But this is the Yellow Ford. Why it's called the Yellow Ford, I couldn't tell you. who can tell? But there you go. The English Place Name Society ought to update them. Ought to update it. Update their records.
Arrest on Gyt-incg's Æwelm, of Gyt-incg's Æwelm on North Dina, on Thonna Grenum way, on Thonna Harnstan.
The ash is coming out later than the oak. I wonder whether that's significant or not. I'm not far outside Cutsdean, which is Cotteston in Old English, which is the farm of cod. We might be looking at the original owner of the Cotswolds. This is one of the theories behind it. There's also a river called the Coddeswell, which is lost according to the English Place Name Society because they couldn't find Æwelm Ford, which is, I've just shown you where it is. Well, Grundy has shown us where it is. And
Coddeswell, Cotswell probably, as it would be today, is lost, but it is said to have had a relationship with Taddington here, which means it might not have anything to do with the Yellow Ford at all, and it might be a third name for the Windrush, the Gyt-incg, and now possibly Codswell.
so it seems like there's also a Coddesbury somewhere around here, which I've done in a previous video. Now, which is on the video about the Roman road that I was talking about. Now, I got distracted by that sheep. It is an animal in distress is enough to throw off, all plans last 5 minutes in front of the enemy. So once you get out and they're in the field, all goes to pot. So yes, the Roman road is Bugildestrat. It's called Condicott Lane today, and it's also called in big black Gothic lettering Ricknield Street, which is, we see Icknield a lot when it comes to Roman roads, and the reason why some of them have an R in front of it is because of the grammar in the Middle Ages. They would have said Thara Icknield Strat, and then Thara becomes the, and the ra goes on to the beginning of Icknield. So in Thara Icknield it becomes the Ricknield. And so as I've explained before, that means Berdehilda's way, whoever Berdehilda is the wife of Wayland the Smith, one of the English gods, but let's not get too excited about that nonsense. Let's not set hairs running. It's also a Germanic name. And but anyway, the individual parts of what I try and tell you on YouTube don't mean much, but when you layer them one on top of the other, that's when it gets we get a bigger picture. So in that charter, the one about Bugildestrat, it talks of a Coddesbury, which means Cod, who owns this parish here, also owned that farm, that fortified settlement, 2 parishes over, I believe. So he was a big man, and he gave his name to a river. It was important, but the charter wasn't giving this land to him. We don't know who he was. It was given to somebody else. So it's deep in the past. It's significant in ways we can't understand anymore. But he may have given his name to the Cotswolds. And wold has changed meaning in English. It used to mean woods, and then naturally over 1,000 years or so it ends up being the bare hills. So it's very, very similar to the word Lee. Lee started off meaning woods, and after a bit becomes a clearing, and then becomes rough pasture. Probably. But here we are, Cutsdean, and I'm going looking for an Æwelm, which is in the charter. It starts off there, and the North Dean that is in. I can see the North Dean from here. Such a pretty landscape at the moment. It's yeah, I can see the North Dean. It's topographical, and the Æwelm must be. I'm going to go downhill into the Dean and see if I can find it. Æwel. People think it means. Grundy thought it meant large spring. Always meant large spring, great spring. What it means is that is air. I go to sleep. It means before, the first spring. Well is spring. You can start seeing it getting wet here as the water heads down towards the stream. The Æwelm is in there. Now that's somebody's. It's not actually somebody's garden, but it's in their backyard. So I'm not going to send the drone in there. I don't think it would be morally justified. But in there is the source of the spring, the source of the stream. The stream that the Æwelm is on is called the Gyt-incg. There's a number. I may not be pronouncing that right. There's a number of medieval spellings that suggest Gyt-incg. And if I was looking at an Old English word, I would suspect Gyt-incg. But we have two words that join together, as many Old English words are, place names are, toponyms are, and Gyt, and I think it's Gyt, and which means gushing, and ing can also, as well as meaning the followers of, the clan of, it can also mean a stream. So look at my ink pen videos where I discuss the inch in ink pen, and it gives its name to a couple of villages further down. Anyway, I think that's it. Time to go home. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. It's nice to be listened to, and if you've enjoyed it, please subscribe. I should be setting up a membership scheme soon. Please join that too, and then hopefully we can expand the channel to show more content like this. Thank you for watching. Ta-da for now.